Hi, how you doing? I'm Michael Kida. I'm from America, but right now I am in a forest in Japan, and I've been living here for 18 years. Around me is my farm, which I will be showing you lots of. I've had this farm now for 10 years, although I've been farming in Japan for almost 14 or 15. Before this farm, I had a different farm close by, which was actually taken away by the Yakuza. But thankfully, that got me off my butt to go find a new plot, and that's where I found this. It sits on top of a mountain overlooking the ocean, just about an hour away from Tokyo, completely surrounded by nature. And at first, it was completely overgrown. There were weeds and brush and bamboo. But I slowly cut it back and cleared the brush, turned a little bit of organic matter back into it, and eventually I came up with a pretty decent farm. So I'm going to be showing you all the different things I grow on my farm. I have over 300 different varieties of fruits, vegetables, mushrooms, wild edibles, herbs, aromatic plants, flowers. And although the farm keeps me very busy throughout the year, it's not the only thing I do. I'm also an actor. I've done plenty of different dramas, TV shows, I've done some modeling, I've done some commercials. You name it, I've had a whack at it. On one occasion, a woman came down from Tokyo. We were shooting an electric vehicle commercial for Audi. She came out to the farm, we talked about sustainability, we ate a few vegetables, and then a couple of friends joined us. We roasted some pizzas and cooked up a bunch of food, enjoyed it at my farmhouse. Another program that we did right as the pandemic was starting, they came out to my farm to showcase it many times doing DIY projects. On this one particular occasion, they wanted something big, so I went ahead and made a tea house, as you can see right here behind me. Now I'll show you the process of how I went about making it, and once it was made, we were able to sit down and enjoy some tea, and as you can see in front of the tea house right here, I've got some tea plants growing, and hopefully in a couple of years, be able to make some really good matcha out of this. One thing you'll find about me is I'm a DIY enthusiast. For example, I built this cabin behind me just about 10 years ago. Honestly, there's something I'm building just about every week. I'd love to share this with you. My DIY process isn't quite that, what's the word I'm looking for? I've been in Japan for so long that sometimes I forget my English. The way I go about DIY is not always that organized. It's kind of random. What I do is I go out about town, I find leftover lumber, leftover materials, brick, stone, metal, wood, anything that I can use for building material. Once I've got it collected, I get started. I've made things like tables, swings. I've made several different pizza ovens, sometimes out of brick, sometimes out of cob, as you can see here. Some of the projects are fun and some of them are practical. For example, routing water to a sink in my farmhouse so that I can wash my hands. One of the aspects of Japan that is so wonderful are the 4 seasons. As we enter into spring, everything sprouts out of the ground, lots of wild edibles to eat, and the flowers in full bloom. The songs of the birds, absolutely incredible. Then we move into the rainy season, and it can be a bit gloomy, but the amount of green that comes out just dazzles you. And afterwards, we move into the thick of summer. It's hot and sticky, and on certain days, the sound of the cicada is just absolutely incredible. And occasionally, a typhoon will roll in September or October, and then we have a quiet, mild fall, finally back into winter with an occasional snow. And on these cold days, I like to sit next to the stove and just stay warm. Something else to look forward to, the animals at my farm. From birds to creatures with peculiar faces, others with beautiful colors, some with strange behavior, and others that just dazzle. And my furry friends.
Why are you eating my saw? Let go. Let go. Let go. Don't eat my saw, please. Don't eat my saw, please.
Here I am at my new farm, and I've picked up another couple of acres, and that's the reason why I wanted to start my channel again, is because I want to show you the process of getting this started. So come along, join me. On this new spot, I've got my work cut out for me. It's quite a large farm tucked away in a valley, and it hasn't been cared for a few years, although there's a lot of potential. I plan to make a school here, inviting people from the city to come down and join me for all the different DIY projects, as well as growing vegetables and helping local farmers throughout the year. So for this new foray into YouTube, I decided to just show you kind of a typical week, 10 days. Started off with New Year's Day feast. I went running with my nephews, got a new computer so I could edit all these different videos. I went for a run every morning, picking some curry leaf. Found out the squirrels were messing with my lemon trees. I had just given them some fertilizer with some rice germ, and they dug it up and threw it everywhere, menacing. So I decided to pick all the lemons so that they couldn't get to the rest of them. Then I went ahead and planted some more peat plants. This is a little bit late in the season, but better late than never. These will be fine. Hopefully I'll be picking them by April or May. Then I gave them a little bit of water. Of course, this is just rainwater. Now, I'll do a little bit of picking, starting with Jerusalem artichokes, or as in Japan we call hikuimo. Now these are really healthy, great for the gut, good for people with diabetes and high blood pressure apparently, and quite delicious. They really crunch. But fair warning, if you eat too much of them, you'll be tooting all day, so just watch out. Then picking a little bit of ukon, or turmeric. These look very similar to the artichokes, but they're quite different, I assure you. Got a little bit of winter melon, now some different greens. Now these greens are absolutely delicious in wintertime after the first frost. They're just full of flavor. Give it a try. The texture and the rich flavor. These turnips, I swear, they're just the greatest thing. Japanese turnips, in the wintertime, when the frost hits them, they get sweet, that increases the sugar load to keep from freezing, and it makes them sweet and juicy. That's so good. Nice purple salad daikon. Oh, man, that's good. So sweet. That's so sweet. That's good. Yeah, but man, it's good. So sweet. Shikwasa. These are also so delicious, so sour and juicy. One of my favorite fruits in wintertime is King Kong. These are so good. You try it with the skin. The skin's the sweet part. The inside is sour. Oh, it's so good. Good. So now I've got all of my turnips and various greens for my salad mix all picked up. I think it's time for me to have coffee. Back to some farming, I had some shallots left over that needed to be planted. I put them in the soil. And then on to potatoes. This is my favorite variety, Destroyer. The great thing about my area of Japan is potatoes can be planted in March to be picked in June, then once again in September to be picked in January or possibly December if you're early enough. These are different varieties that I grew, and I think I might be missing a few. Now, off to bring him to my house to get ready for my market. Now, my farm is up on top of a hill, which is great in some ways, but for bringing to market, it can be quite a hassle. Although the great thing is that I get some free exercise out of it. Without having to go to a gym or do any extra exercise, my farm gives me plenty to do. Now at home, give everyone a wash to get the dirt off. And while I had the hose up, I decided to wash my car. Then checked on my kombucha to see how it was fermenting. Now I started roasting my own coffee a couple years ago. I found that not only is it cheaper, but I can try out a whole variety of different flavors and different roast types. And got some lemongrass ready for selling dry herbs. Then at market, first I took Ruby out. She loves to go and eat weeds.
I don't know, when I eat grandma's very vegetables, to the shop. You eat. Let's go. Let's go. Ruby, let's go. Woohoo! Want tikwi mo? Drew some artichokes? How's that? Is that yummy? Is that yummy? Put it. You want this? Choose which hand. Which hand? Which one? This one? There you go. Ruby, giddy up.
Now I do a market every Saturday. On this particular day, it was super windy, kind of hard. Here are my dry herbs and all the root vegetables. Afterwards, I dug up Ruby's poo, which makes great manure for my roses, which I hope to have in full bloom this spring. So I run every day, 365 days a year, and about 9 to 10K every day, which is I guess 5 or 6 miles. It's great to get out, see the sights. It's good for the body and helps me get around. On this one particular day, it was our first beach clean of the year. We go down on the first Sunday of every month where we surf and pick up garbage that washes up from the wind and from the waves. Then off to running again. Aside from acting and farming, I also help neighbors, and at this house I've done quite a lot of work. Here I am taking down the Christmas lights that I helped put up in December. I also helped build this deck and the pizza oven that's down here. And during the pandemic, this family gave me tons of work to help me get by. My weed whacker's been sounding a little bit off recently, so I decided to give it a little bit of a tune-up and some oiling. And hopefully this will help me because I've got lots of brush to clear. And we're off. I picked up this battery-powered 36-volt Makita weed whacker last year, and it's an absolute godsend. Love it. It doesn't make a lot of noise. You're not using 2-cycle fuel, so it's much better for the environment, and it doesn't vibrate a lot, so you don't get that that funny vibrating feeling in your hands when you're done doing it. One day, some friends came over and we started talking about Nanakusa, which is on the 7th of January. There's 7 different types of weeds and turnips and daikon you have to pick up, and you make a porridge out of them. So here I am picking all of them. I have to find them all throughout my different farms. Here I am picking the turnip, and this is delicious. It almost tastes like baby corn. Here's some daikon, or I guess you can call them radishes. This one's a really hard one to find, but I was able to find it at my new farm. And seri, this is absolutely incredible in put in soups and stews.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or Nanakusa. Varieties of weed and daikon. Cheers. Oh, so good. Oh, man.
Over here as well. Oh shit. Wow.
Piece of wheat. Ini dia. Sabi dulu. There's one piece. Here you go, oishii yo. Ah, otoshita. Anata hayai ne. Ippai. Here you go, guys. One piece. Here you go. Here you go. 美味しいよ。はいはいどうぞ。すごいね。